Somaroy Island, nestled in Norway's Tromsø municipality, captured the world's imagination in 2019 when it announced plans to become a time-free zone. During summer, the sun shines for 69 days straight, inspiring talk of abolishing clocks and living by nature's rhythm. However, this bold experiment turned out to be a clever marketing campaign by Innovation Norway, intended to boost tourism. Today, Somaroy still operates on standard time, though its midnight sun and vibrant community continue to enchant visitors. What if I told you that in 2019, a small Norwegian island made headlines worldwide by doing something no civilization had ever attempted in recorded history, officially abolishing time itself? Not just changing time zones, not just ignoring daylight saving time, but actually petitioning their government to become the world's first time-free zone. This isn't science fiction. This is Somaroy Island, and their story reveals something profound about humanity's most artificial, yet essential construct. Nestled 69 degrees north of the equator, beyond the Arctic Circle where the sun plays by different rules, Somaroy Island became the unlikely epicenter of a temporal revolution that would challenge everything we think we know about how societies organize themselves around the clock. The land where the sun forgot to set. To understand why Somaroy's residents took such a radical step, you must first grasp the unique reality of life in the Arctic. From May 18th to July 26th each year, the sun never sets on this remote fishing community of just 300 souls. For 69 straight days, the island exists in perpetual daylight, a phenomenon locals call the midnight sun. Conversely, during the polar night from November to January, darkness reigns supreme, with the sun remaining below the horizon for months. Imagine trying to maintain a normal sleep schedule when your bedroom window shows blazing sunlight at 2 a.m., or attempting to wake up for work when it's pitch black at noon. For centuries, Arctic communities have adapted to these extremes, but Somaroy's residents began to question why they should remain slaves to a timekeeping system designed for more temperate latitudes. The island's relationship with time had always been complicated. Fishing boats would return at all hours, guided not by clocks, but by weather windows and fish movements. Children played outside at midnight during summer, their internal rhythms following the sun rather than Swiss precision. Shops operated when customers appeared, not according to rigid schedules. Yet officially, they remained bound to Central European time, creating a surreal disconnect between lived experience and legal requirement. The rebellion begins. The movement to abolish time began not with grand philosophical declarations, but with frustration over mundane bureaucracy. In 2019, local leaders grew tired of the absurdity of scheduling official meetings at 3 p.m., when such distinctions held no meaning under the midnight sun. Traditional work hours felt increasingly meaningless when your circadian rhythms were dictated by seasonal light patterns rather than clock faces. Kjell Ove Veding, a local politician and the movement's unlikely leader, began what seemed like a quixotic campaign. His petition to the Norwegian parliament requested that Somaroy be declared a time-free zone, the first such designation in human history. The island would continue to exist in the same physical space, follow the same laws, and maintain the same cultural practices, but would no longer be bound by artificial temporal constraints. The proposal wasn't merely symbolic. Veding and his supporters outlined practical changes. Businesses would operate according to natural rhythms and customer demand rather than fixed hours. Schools would adapt their schedules to optimize learning during the brightest or most suitable times. Government offices would serve citizens when needed, not when an arbitrary clock dictated they should be open. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn that reveals something deeper about human nature and social organization. When time becomes fluid. As news of Somaroy's time abolition campaign spread globally, something remarkable happened. The story captured imaginations far beyond Norway's borders, sparking conversations about humanity's relationship with time itself. Social media exploded with debates about whether clock-based living had become a prison of our own making. Urban professionals in New York and Tokyo began questioning why they rushed to catch precisely timed trains to sit in offices where creativity and productivity fluctuated according to biological rhythms that had nothing to do with business hours. The campaign exposed a fundamental tension in modern society. While we've built entire civilizations around precise timekeeping, from stock markets opening at exact moments to airline schedules coordinated across continents, we simultaneously yearn for the freedom that comes with temporal flexibility. Somaroy's residents were articulating something many felt but couldn't express. That rigid time structures, while necessary for coordination, might be constraining human potential. Historians began drawing parallels to other moments when societies radically reimagined time. The French revolutionary calendar attempted to decimalize time itself, creating 10-day weeks and 10-hour days. Soviet Russia experimented with continuous production schedules that ignored traditional weekends. But Somaroy's approach was different. Rather than imposing a new temporal system, they sought to eliminate artificial time constraints entirely. The scientific intrigue. What made Somaroy's experiment particularly fascinating to researchers was its potential as a natural laboratory for studying human chronobiology. For decades, scientists have known that artificial lighting and rigid schedules disrupt our circadian rhythms, contributing to everything from depression to metabolic disorders. But what would happen to a community that aligned their daily activities with natural light cycles rather than clock-based schedules? Sleep researchers took particular interest. Studies of Antarctic research stations and other extreme latitude locations had shown that people's sleep patterns naturally adjust to available light when freed from social time pressures. Somaroy offered the possibility of observing these effects on an entire community, rather than just isolated individuals. The island's fishing industry provided another fascinating case study. Commercial fishing has always been somewhat time-free, with departure and return schedules dictated by weather, tides, and fish behavior rather than clocks. But Somaroy's fishermen reported that eliminating artificial time constraints allowed them to optimize their work around natural patterns more effectively, potentially increasing both productivity and sustainability. The deeper historical context. Somaroy's time rebellion represents something more significant than a quirky local initiative. It's part of humanity's ongoing struggle to balance coordination with freedom. The standardization of time, accelerated by railroad schedules in the 19th century and perfected by industrial capitalism in the 20th, enabled unprecedented global cooperation. But it also created new forms of social control and personal alienation. Indigenous communities worldwide have long maintained fluid relationships with time, organizing activities around seasonal cycles, weather patterns, and community needs rather than abstract hours and minutes. Somaroy's movement can be seen as a modern attempt to reclaim some of this temporal autonomy while maintaining the benefits of contemporary technology and global connectivity. The campaign also reflects broader 21st century anxieties about work-life balance, mental health, and human agency in an increasingly automated world. As artificial intelligence and digital connectivity create 24/7 work expectations, communities like Somaroy are pushing back, insisting that human well-being should take precedence over mechanical precision. The paradox of viral fame. Ironically, Somaroy's attempt to escape time-bound constraints became perfectly timed for the digital age. Their story went viral precisely because it offered an alternative to the always-on, hyper-scheduled existence that characterizes modern life. The campaign succeeded in ways its organizers never anticipated, not necessarily in achieving official time-free status, but in starting a global conversation about temporal freedom. The Norwegian government's response was diplomatically non-committal. While they didn't officially abolish time on Somaroy, they also didn't actively oppose the island's increasingly flexible approach to scheduling and business hours. In practice, the community began operating more fluidly, with many businesses and services adapting their hours to natural rhythms rather than rigid clock-based schedules. What happened next reveals the most intriguing aspect of this entire experiment. The living laboratory today, Somaroy continues its time-free experiment informally. Visitors report a surreal but liberating experience where meals happen when people are hungry, shops open when proprietors feel energetic, and social gatherings occur based on community desire rather than calendar appointments. The island has become an unintentional pilgrimage site for people seeking to understand alternative relationships with time. The results have been mixed but fascinating. Some residents report improved sleep patterns and reduced stress during the endless summer days. Others struggle with the lack of structure, particularly when coordinating with the time-bound world beyond their shores. Children seem to adapt most easily, playing and learning according to their natural energy cycles rather than rigid school schedules.